If you enjoy this episode, please subscribe to Learn to Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are tuning in. If you love what you hear, consider leaving a 5-star review, as it will help other podcasters just like you discover this show. You'll find the show notes from this episode at learn2pod.com. Welcome back to Learn to Podcast, a show that will teach you everything that you need to know to create, grow, and monetize a successful podcast. I'm your host, Scott Wyden Kivowitz. In this episode, we're going to talk about building a podcast community. This means connecting with other podcasters and listeners and creating a supportive and engaging environment for your show. There are a few reasons why building a podcast community is important. First, it can help you grow your show. When you have a strong community of listeners, they are more likely to share your podcast with their friends and followers. Second, building a podcast community can help you to learn and grow yourself. By connecting with your listeners and other podcasters, you can definitely learn from your experience, from the way they experience your show, and get feedback on your show. Finally, building a podcast community can be a lot of fun. It's a great way to connect with people who share your passion for whatever your niche is. Here are a few things that you can do to build a podcast community. Be active on social media. Use social media to connect with other podcasters, your listeners, and so on. Share your podcast episodes, participate in discussions, and answer questions. Attend events in your niche. Attend podcasting events. There are so many conferences and meetups held throughout the year all around the world in a variety of genres. Attending these events is a great way to meet others that share your passion, and listeners as well, all in person. Collaborate with other podcasters, do guest interviews, co-host episodes, participate in joint promotions. Collaborating with other podcasts is a great way to cross-promote your podcast and reach new audiences. Create a forum or a subreddit or a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group, a dedicated space for your podcast community, for them to come together, for them to discuss your show, for them to discuss each episode, as well as other potential topics. By building a community for your podcast, you can create a supportive and engaging environment for your show. This can help you to grow your podcast, to learn and grow and have a lot of fun. I encourage you to connect with other podcasters, to connect with your listeners, and build a strong podcast community. We are all about creativity, innovation, and a touch of playfulness here at Learn to Podcast. We love building this amazing community of ours, and we've been brainstorming some fun nicknames to call our fantastic listeners. And yes, it's official. You're not just listeners. You're part of the crew. Greetings, Podfinders. That's short for Podcast Pathfinders. Thanks for tuning in to Learn to Podcast as we lead the way through the podcasting wilderness. Learn to Podcast does not currently have a sponsor or service to earn money from the show, but we cannot build our show without 3 incredible tools. That's why, in lieu of sponsorship, we want to share these incredible tools with you: Descript, Cast Magic, and Transistor FM. These products and services are what make Learn to Podcast possible. Check out our affiliate links in the show notes to learn more about them. And if you sign up, we do make a small commission. Thanks again, Podfinders, for tuning in.